Hello, everybody, and welcome back. What an amazing week it was in Michigan athletics. We're going to go over each and every sport here and now in this video. It is called the Michigan Sports Report. Happens every Sunday or Monday. But this time it is on time because the professional sports, NBA is doing a tournament and the NHL is doing a worldwide tournament as well. The Four Nations face-off. So, no NBA or NHL games to speak of, and here we go. In college basketball, number 20 Michigan, who is now 20-5 after winning 2 games this week. They played Purdue, who is number 7, and went to Columbus to play Ohio State on Sunday. Versus Purdue, Michigan found a way to win that game 75-73, in part because of free throws once again, but also in part because Dusty May isn't backing down in the Big Ten, and his philosophy is working. Just go score, regardless of turnovers, and that is paying off because his players know what to do, and at the very least, they are consistent. Not only that, they are getting better in every area. I did a video on this game versus Purdue that goes further in depth than on here in the sports report, so you can go ahead and watch that. At Ohio State, that just happened today, over on CBS, Michigan won that game 86-83 in a game that had 11 ties and 16 lead changes. Danny Wolf had 17 points, 11 rebounds, and 5 assists. Vlad Golden had 20 points and 10 rebounds. 4 other players for Michigan had 8+ points, as Michigan has now won 8 straight games by 4 points or less. 6 straight games, to remain at the top of the Big Ten standings. This is the biggest turnaround from one year to the next already in program history. Up next for Michigan, they have the week off until they play Michigan State, who is number 11 as of right now, on Friday. They play them at home, and that is the only game for Michigan this week. In college basketball, number 11 Michigan State is also 20-5. They played Indiana and at Illinois on Saturday. Michigan State was trying to avoid losing 4 out of 5 games, and they lost the 4th versus Indiana 71-67. Michigan State shot 38% to Indiana's 48%, and that was the difference, as free throws, rebounds, and turnovers were pretty even for both teams. It would have been Izzo's record-breaking night, gaining the most Big Ten wins ever. Could he get it at Illinois? Well, at Illinois was a closely contested game the whole way, but Michigan State pulled away in the end to get the win for Izzo. 79-65. Michigan State out-rebounded Illinois, and they shot 49%, including 5 of 12 from 3. Jackson Kohler had 23 points and 10 rebounds and 2 steals for Michigan State, and 3 other players had 10+ points. Next up for Michigan State basketball, they play number 7 Purdue on Tuesday, and they are at number 20 Michigan on Friday on Fox at 8 p.m. this week. In college hockey, number 12 Michigan, who is 17-12-3 now, played a series versus number 4 Minnesota on Friday and Saturday to try and stay off of the NCAA bubble for the tournament. Friday, Minnesota was 0 of 3 on power plays. The game was tied 2-2 late in that game. Michigan had a flurry at the end of regulation, but the game went to overtime, where Michigan had been 5-0-2 this season. In overtime, Michigan drew a penalty, and it didn't take long for Ethan Edwards to score the game-winning goal versus number 4 Minnesota to push Michigan's overtime record to 6-0-2 in this 3-2 win for the Wolverines. Garrett Shifsky and Keenan Draper also scored goals for Michigan. On Saturday, Minnesota got a power play goal, but Michigan tied it 14 seconds into the second period, and then Minnesota copied Michigan, scoring 13 seconds into the third period to take the lead 2-1. Michigan's Hage had the goal that tied the game with 12 minutes and 48 seconds left. Stein had great saves in this game. He came in partway through game one this week and never let the reins go. He was standing on his head at some point, seemed like, to keep goals out of the net for Michigan. All right. Stein had great saves, and Michigan squandered its fifth power play. And we went to overtime again, a double overtime venture for Michigan this past weekend. Michigan won this one in a shootout, 3-2, thanks to TJ Hughes' lone goal in the second overtime frame for Michigan. This was Michigan's first sweep of a team since November, but Michigan has played the number one hardest schedule in the nation. Next up, Michigan hockey has number 8 Ohio State on the road in Columbus Thursday and Friday in the last regular season games of the season. After that, the Big 10 tournament will commence. Let's talk about Michigan State hockey, number 2 in the nation. They are 22-5-3 now. They play a series versus Penn State on Friday and Saturday of next week. They had the week off and continue to have home ice and the bye in the Big Ten tournament as they are in first place. The top 4 teams earn home ice in the first round, and Michigan still sits as the 4th team. Both have one more series that will sum it all up for the Big Ten. Michigan State hockey has Notre Dame on the road next, and on Friday and Saturday to end the regular season. Now from a season that is ramping up to a sport that is just beginning, college baseball. That's right. Michigan is 3-0 in the young season. Michigan played in the Puerto Rico Challenge to open their season. In game 1, number 2 Virginia was on the docket, and Michigan won that game 5-4 in 11 innings. Matt Spear singled and advanced Mitch Voigt to the plate for the game winner. Dylan Veig went 5.1 innings pitched and only 6 hits. And then in game 2, Michigan beat Rice 5-2. Kurt Barr pitched for Michigan 5 innings, only allowing 3 hits. And in game 3, Michigan beat Villanova 19-0. David Lally Jr. didn't start, but went 5 innings, only allowing 3 hits in that game. 3 other pitchers helped secure the shutout as the offense soared. Game 4 of this tournament is on Monday versus Stetson. And then Michigan State baseball is 4-0 now. Michigan State won versus Western Michigan twice and Monmouth twice to open their season. Versus Western Michigan, they won 2-0 and 6-3. In the first game, Joe Zwera went 6 innings and allowed 1 hit. In the second game, Michigan State used 4 pitchers to get the job done. 2 of them allowed 3 hits. Versus Monmouth, they won 2-0 and 4-1. In the first game, Nolan Higgins pitched 6 innings and gave up 2 hits for the Spartans. In the second game, Michigan State used 3 pitchers, and 2 of them gave up 3 hits once again for the Spartans. Now, I don't know much about baseball, but I do know that the less pitchers you have to use in every game is for the better for your team. I expect Michigan to be ranked now, and I expect Michigan State is working towards that from the first impressions of these 2 programs. All right, like I said, not too much professional news. The Pistons are 29-26 still, 6th place in the Eastern Conference. On Tuesday, they beat the Bulls 132-92, and on Wednesday, they beat the Bulls again 128-110. Both games were in Chicago. In the NHL, Red Wings are 28, 22, and 5 still, fifth place in the Atlantic Division, 10 points behind the Florida Panthers. The NHL has had the week off for the Four Nations face-off. In the NFL news, the Lions hired Texas running back coach Tashard Choice. Choice has worked with Bijan Robinson, Roshan Johnson, Jonathan Brooks, Kalen Robinson, Jaden Blue, and Jahmyr Gibbs, who was on the Lions team when they were both at Georgia Tech years back. So there you go. The Michigan Sports Report. Michigan basketball is flying high, still in first place in the Big Ten, a game ahead of Michigan State. And Michigan hockey advances and is trying to keep themselves off the bubble. Michigan State basketball bounced back with a win at Illinois, a much-needed win to give Izzo the Big Ten record. There you go. Thank you, everybody, for tuning in. Like the video, please. That's the thumbs up button down below. It is free. You can also subscribe to the channel, which is also free. I ask for no donations, nothing. There shouldn't be any advertisements on this channel as of yet. So go ahead and click the subscribe button. And when you do that, you can hit the bell so that you get notified every time a video is posted. The next video is going to be the college basketball resume ranking. So we'll see where I have all of the college basketball teams seeded as of this week. Thank you, everybody. Go Blue. Have a great day out there. God bless y'all.